Hey, you. Yes, you with the moist grass on your bare legs. This is a new year and a new podcast. I'm asking you to join me in some changes made just for you. I want listeners to join the new Facebook group for Aussie Lawn Stars, so you can give me feedback on existing episodes and content ideas for more episodes. But more importantly, it's a place you can ask questions. The simple questions may get answered by members in the group already, much like you would find in any community group. But the questions will fuel and feed future episodes. More importantly, if you ask a question in the group or on the YouTube comments section, you may get sucked into the dungeon where your question and you become a feature episode. In short, join Aussie Lawn Stars on Facebook, YouTube and Instagram to participate and engage with me directly and other listeners who want to help or be helped. Well, something that's interesting, I've mentioned on the podcast a few times, but I used to, when I was doing residential work, I used to just put up the outliers. So I'd go through them around the end of the financial year. I'd go, all right, I've got about four to 10 lawns that are underquoted, underpriced. They might have had them at a good price 5 years ago, but they're underpriced now. So I contact that customer or see them when I'm there and say, hey, you got to put your prices up. And it would be the case that I would do that routinely every year. I'd put up a few of the underpriced lawns to bring them in line with the better priced lawns. But now I'm looking at it, and this is particularly post-COVID, where I look at the cost of living and I look at the amount of money I need to make, and I'm going, okay, I need at least a CPI increase every year. I can't just do let's pick on the cheap lawn. I've got to do it across the board and go, I need the CPI increase across the board every year.
Yeah. What I do is when I price a lawn coming in, I basically price it for what it should be 2 years from now.
Yeah.
So that I know I don't have to disturb that customer with a price increase for at least 2 years, if not 3. So they're going to be well settled in by the time I have to have that conversation with them. You see?
That's a good way to filter out people that don't need to be your customers.
Yeah.
Because people who can't afford that price are not going to sign up. And like you say, it means you don't have to have a price conversation with them for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. By that time, they're settled in. They've probably sold their old mower they had. And
yep.
they like what they're used to paying the bill.
Yeah.
And if they're
the
just
price
looking
increase.
for a cheap deal, then they don't come in at all. Because I don't want them. I've worked for those customers before. As soon
Yep.
they whinge, they moan, they hold you up. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I took over this business, I had a heap of them that were like that would just and I was mowing them, and I knew that I was the cheap guy. That's why
yeah.
I'm there. And then one of them I
Yep.
got rid of, and then I've watched as he just went through every contractor in town. And some of them I'm mates with, and they said, "Oh, the guy's just looking for a cheap." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. So, do you talk to an accountant, or do you look over your bookwork yourself to analyse whether you think you're making good money and whether it's paying the bills or running short?
Don't really speak to my accountant much about it. I basically just have one meeting with her a year, one half-hour meeting. She just runs over things. I'm blessed with a business. I've got a bit of a business head on my shoulders. My father absolutely drummed financial literacy into myself and my brother.
Yeah, okay.
We had it drummed into us when we were little kids. We're always playing Monopoly and all these. He used to buy board games like that. I think there was another one called Squatter.
Yeah, I know that one.
We used to play that every Saturday night, mate.
That is a Kiwi game.
Is it? There's a lot of those sheep stations are Australian, but
no, they're all Kiwi sheep stations.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just making that up. I honestly don't know, but I know when I learnt to play that game, I'm sure that we said it must be a New Zealand game.
My brother used to always beat everyone at Monopoly, and I used to always win Squatter. And they're both business management, but money management and business management things.
Yeah, I must say, I find Squatter more enjoyable than Monopoly. I
Yeah, it
think
was
Squatter
far better game. Yeah.
Squatter is more about business, where Monopoly is more about landowning and monopolizing the
Domination.
market.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm lucky that I had that drummed into me, and oh, from when I was a teenager, just started getting out and earning my own money.
yeah,
Well, as soon as I was 16, I went and got my gun license and started shooting possums on two nights a week. Because
yeah.
we were
Don't
allowed to
try
shoot
that in
them over.
Australia.
No, no, no. But no, well, back then, that was the mid 1980s. We were getting $14 for a good skin,
Wow.
so it
Yeah,
wasn't too bad pocket money. Oh, even a bad skin was $4.50, but that would have to be terrible. But that's the equivalent of $20 now. So you get 10 of those in a night. You do it for a 15, 16-year-old. You're doing all right.
yeah. That's unreal. So, who are you selling them to? Is that just at the cop station, or is that to
Um,
a?
no, I just used to send them off to there was a big fur auction down at Dunedin, Kiwi Fur Company.
Okay.
Yeah,
There you go.
they had agents in every town you could
Ah,
go
very good.
sell to. Yeah,
Nice.
no, it was a fantastic industry. One boss I had when I was farming, he bought a house out of shooting possums on that farm on the weekend. He went there and the place was riddled with them.
Yeah,
So they got into it. He and his wife got into it and, yeah, got a house out of
that's good
it.
going.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Ah,
them around.
yeah, and probably still is a lot of them around, right?
Yeah, far too many. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to move to New Zealand. In Australia, you're not even allowed to relocate them.
No, no, well, you pretty much get in trouble if you swerve to miss them in your car here. No, what one
Yeah,
sheep station I was working on up the back of Taranaki, I remember coming home one Saturday night. It was 20
yeah.
k's out to the letterbox. Between the letterbox and my house, I counted 105 possums on the road.
As
They
in roadkill.
No, no, live. They were
Live
grazing.
one.
It was springtime and the clover was out on the side of the road, and they were all coming out of the bush and eating the clover.
Wow, that is plague proportions compared to what I see.
That's just the ones I saw in my headlights. Yeah, so there would have been three times that.
Oh boy. So yeah, they're easy to make money by
Yeah,
shooting them and skinning
I
them.
used to trap them there. And behind my house was right beside the bush, so I used to just basically walk out my back door and start trapping them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
had a pet one that used to come into my garage and eat dog biscuits. Yeah,
Yep. Yeah. So were they?
I
Do you have
uh,
ringtail and brushtail
Uh,
possums there, or
just brush tail, yeah.
just brushtail?
Big,
Okay, yeah,
big, fat brush tail possums by the
yep. They get
million.
massive.
Yep.
Yeah. So when your dad was teaching you business skills and financial literacy, did you start looking at how to apply that in business fairly early on in terms of having separate bank accounts and separating out your expenses before you spend money, that sort of thing?
No, I was just aware of it. That's all. I
Yeah,
was just aware of it. But back then, when I started out, like I'd borrow my parents' car to go possum shooting, and
yeah,
like they'd usually just spot me the gas, just to help me along. They were
yeah.
pretty good
Nice.
about it. Yeah.
Yep.
They put up with all these possum skins out in the shed every week, stinking up the place.
Skin them, feed the dogs, and keep the skins.
Just skin them and chuck the bodies. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
Well, bodies do make really good dog tucker, but you get. I only had one dog, so he can't eat
You-
that. He can't eat
no.
that many possums.
One a night is more than enough.
Well, he was only a little dog. Probably about one a week is enough for him. Yeah, but
Uh, yeah.
no, it's just like I left school and went sheep farming.
Mm.
He also, I've been the brunt of many jokes from my Kiwi mates, let alone the Australians. Um,
Yeah, because you're on the sheep farm, you got to keep warm.
That's a new one I hadn't heard.
I bet you've heard them all.
But farmers are very, very business orientated. They're very tight. They
Okay.
don't
Yeah.
spend a single dollar that they don't have to. Well, you couldn't back then. It wasn't. A lot of farms were making a loss in the late 80s.
Yeah,
It
true.
was going through a real glut. I remember lamb meat was worth less than dags back then.
So you
So, and that's in 1988 when we started. Yeah,
you'd do
yeah.
better off selling the dags instead of the meat.
Oh, it was a bad time. But
Wow.
so I've sort of learnt all this business philosophy off farmers. They just wouldn't spend money unless they knew they were going to get a return off it.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
and so sort of right the way through, because I've been working, did farming for until I was 28, till I started doing this.
Yeah. So a good
Um,
10 years or 12 years
I think it was
farming.
12 or 14 years or something, yeah, and
Yeah.
working for farmers, and you just get it drummed into you, man, about
Yep.
don't waste a dollar, don't waste a dollar, So I just carried on to being like that when I come and did this.
Yeah. Fair
Yeah,
enough. So that's set you up well for doing this. And
yeah, I guess it has, yeah, now that I was thinking about it. Yeah.
and when you started lawn mowing, you started with a franchise. So I'm going to guess a bit like Jim's mowing, you got set up with all of the skills and tools from the franchise.
The guy I bought off taught me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's changed. These days I think it's changed. I don't know how they teach them these days. I've never a clue actually.
Yeah. Okay.
But the guy that I bought off, he was actually quite a good teacher. Yeah. This is the
Yeah.
way you mow a lawn, mate. And so I'm like, oh yep, sweet as. Got into it and just took over from him basically. Just did things exactly what he did and carried on.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the the franchise model over there is probably a little bit different to Jim's, but you were saying you started with about 70 customers. Um, how many customers regulars do you have now?
I'm mowing about 100 a fortnight.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know how many customers I got on the books. Must be probably at least 150, probably if not big end of 200. Just
But
because there's a lot of because of the lifestyle stuff and that I do. I've got a lot of customers that they'll be off overseas for 3 months of the year, and
yeah.
they actually enjoy mowing their lawn. So they come back here and they're like, "Get lost, Stephen. Send us your bill." Oh, yep, sweet. And then next winter they ring me up and go, "Hey, we're off to Europe for 2 months. Do it." And I'm like, "Yep, sweet as." Get a lot of that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is
Okay.
good.
So
I actually really like that. I didn't used to. I used to think, oh, a bit annoying. What is it? Do you want me or don't you, sort of thing. But after a while, I just go with the flow and help
well,
them out where I can and charge them accordingly.
I guess it depends on how much room you've got in your schedule and whether they're asking you in the middle of peak season or whether they're asking you in the off season.
Yeah, although if they're gonna ask in peak season, I teach them you got to give me a lot of notice. You can't
Yeah.
you can't ring up at the end of November and say mow it for a month, please, because you're going to get told.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm a bit of a soft touch, so I'll still take them on. Well,
so about
if I'm making good money out of them, I don't give a who cares really?
yeah. But you got about 100 regulars that are fortnightly,
Yeah, about
and
that,
and
something
then your
like that.
extras that are all fitted around that.
Yeah, bits and pieces, eh? Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So that would keep you pretty busy when you're saying you're starting 7:30 in the morning and working through till 7 in the
Oh no,
evening.
I don't. I start tomorrow probably about 9 these days. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In the summer.
Oh, most of the year really.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
no rush. Do a bit of
Yep.
maintenance in the morning while everything's wet and the
Yep.
traffic's bad and I'm waking up and,
Yeah.
do all my maintenance, and then I can set off for the day knowing everything's tickety-boo.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
So,
gonna be gonna be a good day.
is that a Kiwi saying, tickety boo?
Is that not Australian?
I don't think I've heard that one before. Not
Oh
even
no,
from my
it's
dad.
quite a common saying here, mate.
Tickety boo with your weed whacker.
My brother-in-law that lived in Sydney used to say it all the time, but he was a Kiwi, come to think of it. Yeah.
There you go.
No, it's a weed eater, not a weed whacker. Yeah.
Weed eater. Yep. Yeah.
And then what I normally do, because I'm a bit driven, I'll basically do all my tedious sort of stuff in the morning, try and
Yeah.
get that out of the way. If I got to do any hand mowing or any of that sort of rubbish, I'll do that earlier.
Yeah.
And then through the day, I'll start doing stuff that's bigger and easier. And then probably about like 4 o'clock, I'll go and do like a 1 or 2 hour lifestyle block. Just
Yeah.
and
Okay.
that time of the day is prime time. They come out beautiful, eh?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, it's so easy. And so those customers, they're the customers I want to really please.
Yeah. I
And then
know
that eh?
when I was a kid, we were living on a couple of acres, and we were taught the best time to mow is first thing in the morning or late in the afternoon. And like you say, like that sort of 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. times, spot on.
Between about 2 and 6 is when I make all my money.
Yeah, okay. So it's
Yeah,
just the nasty stuff before too.
yeah. Well, you just do what you can. Like what I want is for my customers to be coming home about 5 or 6 o'clock, turning into their driveway and going, "Oh wow."
Yeah,
I don't want to have been there at 7:30 in the morning and left clumps of grass lying around. I want them to come in, and it works because they turn into their driveway and they're all smiles, mate. They're like,
yeah,
yeah, waving their arms out the window, just loving it. And I don't catch any lawns. It's all mostly I try to side
yeah.
discharge
Okay,
stuff, and I'm doing a lot of mulching at the moment actually. But
okay. So you do have a mulch plug as well.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
that's in there most of the time at the moment because of the dust.
Efficiency is the thing that rules a business and the decisions you make as a small business owner. Right mowers give you the options in their product lineup to match efficiency with size, fuel usage, and the type of jobs you want to target, from catching to mulching or side discharge, from roadside verges to acreages and manicured lawns to 6 feet tall and super long. I've been using the Right Stander I 42-inch with a Catch Pro for manicured areas and the Stander ZK61 to maximise productivity for large open acreage mowing. If you need to replace your push mower, try the 32-inch Stander B. If you have more open access to residential properties, there's a 42 through to 48-inch option that suits you. And if you want to enter the acreage market, the 52, 61 and 72-inch machines have choices in engine size and model type to suit the work you want it to do. Right Standards go the distance, saving you time and money season after season. Well, let's talk about the equipment, because from what I hear, New Zealand often is using very different equipment to what we have in Australia. So I know you
Seems to
got
be, yeah.
the weed eater instead of the whippersnapper, but what sort of mowers do you buy?
Started out. Did you have Victor 550s over there back in the day?
I'm sure we have. I've never
You
owned
might have
one,
been in
but
primary school when they were around, actually. But
no,
they were the old two strokes that scream. They were loud as, um,
yeah,
but heaps of grunt, and
yeah,
used to do a really nice job. They were basically the backbone of lawn mowing around South Auckland. Those mowers, they would take a thrashing, eh?
yeah.
And then they became the Victor 560,
Is that the four
which
stroke?
and yeah, somewhere along the line, I got that 8.54 stroke, which bogs down a bit. They're nothing like the two stroke was, but they don't explode like the two strokes used to either.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've rebuilt
when
a
they're
few of those.
screaming, when the two strokes are screaming at the top end, they're gonna lose it every now and then.
Yeah, I've lost a few Conrads out blocks on those things too.
I bet.
So they were sort of the core,
Yeah.
and then I've still got two. Still got two of them in my van now.
Yeah, okay. So you still use them then? They're not just sitting out the back?
One of them I haven't started since November, and that's my backup one. I checked
Yep.
it in November before things got too busy, and it went
Yeah.
first pull, so I put it straight back in the van again. Happy days.
Fair enough.
Other than that, I don't do a lot with those mowers anymore. I'm 80 to 90% of my work's with Walker now.
So Walker, but you're side discharging, not running
Yeah.
GHS.
No,
Is
don't
it
do the GHS. No way.
is it the GHS Walker, or is it just a B series?
Yeah, I've got two a B18 and a B23i. I've got.
Yeah. So I've
Yeah,
had 3 of the B23Is.
yeah, they're good mowers.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's my
they
main
sure are.
mower now. I bought it for last winter for 5.5 grand. It needed a couple of grand spent on it. It needed a good tidy
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
I had
nice.
bald tyres and the gas tank had a hole in it. And the hole was at
Yep,
the top, so I kept using it for a while.
yep.
Yeah, but just tidied
As long
it
as you
up
don't
over winter.
get a spark near the hole, then you're good.
Yeah, I thought I'd be. Oh, I had siliconed over it, so it wasn't too bad.
Okay, yep,
Yeah,
fair enough.
somebody had. I don't know what the guy had backed into, but he had done it real good.
Yeah, I've had a
Um,
couple of employees do damage like that.
$600 for a gas tank. Wasn't
Ouch.
pleasant. 630, I
Yeah.
think it was. Yeah,
I don't remember what I paid for the gas tank because I had to
that's
replace
why I
it.
was. That's why I was trying to fix it with silicon.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I had the two Victors in the van sort of model for a long time, and a
Yeah.
Catchmar in the van as well. I've still got a Catchmar in the van, but it's doing like 10 minutes work a fortnight now. It's basically just enough to keep
Yeah.
it going, sort of thing.
So what mower have you got for catching?
Lawn Master. I don't know whether you have them over there.
Nah.
That's
Never heard of
another
it.
Kiwi brand. They got bought out a few years ago, and they're all made in China now, and they're rubbish. But the ones before that were built like tanks. They're a bit heavy, but
Yeah.
they're just built the way a mower should be built. Hey, they were just good, fast ground speed. Because I only use self propelled. I've
Mm.
never done any push mode really.
Fair enough.
I only use self propelled stuff, and so they're good ground speed. And yeah, no, they're all right. They're good mowers. But I had in between them and the Walkers, I had a couple of country clippers. They're good
Yeah.
mowers. Yeah,
Yep.
they're real good mowers, but no good on the hills, eh?
Yep.
But they're cheap to run. Very cheap mower to maintain.
Yeah, okay. That's good.
And back then, most of my work was Victor type work, so I just needed a
Yeah.
ride on that I could take on and start taking on a bit of the bigger stuff. So I
Yeah.
bought this cheap country clipper, and it did me well. I had it for years, about
Yeah.
3 years. And then I upgraded to a better country clipper, which was
Yeah.
just that thing. Man, people were just stunned with the job it did. The side discharging lawns, the thing used to chuck the grass like 5 meters,
Nice. Yeah.
So you get a good breeze, good afternoon breeze going on. So the grass is just flying off and going for miles. The lawns would come out like you've done them with a GHS, a Walker
Yeah.
catcher.
Yeah. It'd come up amazing.
And then I was doing too much weed eating, so I really had to start looking at something like a Walker.
Yeah.
But I didn't want. I'd heard some horror stories about the maintenance.
On the walkers, yeah.
Yeah, I'd
You
heard
do
some
hear that. You hear a
real
couple of people complain about it, and particularly
yeah,
because there's like 1,000 grease points on the walker.
24. Yeah, on mine. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's only grease and don't worry about it.
It's cheap maintenance. It's much better than having to replace parts when they're breaking and wearing out.
But I was at
It's
a
cheap
shop one
maintenance.
day just in Papakura, and this crew cut guy was there,
Yeah.
and he had this little old Walker on his trailer. And I said to him, "Oh, they as high maintenance as they say they are?" And he goes, "Nah." not this model. And he spent like 10, 15 minutes with me, showed me
Yeah.
exactly what to look for. And I
Yep.
went straight out and bought one of those for, I think it was $6,000 second
Nice.
hand. And
Yeah.
haven't looked back, haven't looked back.
Yeah. Massive improvement in productivity.
Yeah, just the customers love them too.
Yeah.
They just, even today, somebody said to me, man, those walkers do a nice job.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah,
No, they do. They because it's an out front deck instead of underneath the mower.
yeah, the
The deck,
floating deck. Yeah,
yeah, the out front floating deck manages to cut very neatly.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
no, the
mentioned a couple of times having equipment in a van. So are you running a van instead of a ute?
yeah, no,
And
most Lawnies over here are running vans. Yeah,
yeah, what brand of van are you running?
I've just got a dirty old Mitzi L300. I think it's a
Okay.
2004. I think it is. It's
Oh
coming
wow.
up half a million k's. It's about 400,000 k's. It's done. The thing
Yeah. It
refuses to die.
hasn't rusted the floor out.
No, no. It has had bits of rust, but nothing. It
Nothing
gets a
stop
lot
it.
of spots of rust, but it doesn't ever seem to set in badly.
Yeah. Okay. And is it the 4-wheel drive or the 2-wheel drive?
No, no, two-wheel drive. The
Yeah.
little short wheelbase sucker,
Yeah.
which yeah, it's a bit small inside. The
So
seat's
you
terrible.
you wouldn't be fitting the walker inside the van then. You'd be towing a trailer with the walker.
Nah, but you could. Yeah, I've got a little trailer for the walker. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
you could fit the walker inside it?
I think I could. I haven't tried, but I
You just
reckon I
wouldn't
could
fit
get
everything
it.
else in with it.
Nah.
Yeah. So I had a Renault Traffic long wheelbase, and I could fit my walker in there.
Yeah.
I could fit the walker in there and still fit a 21-inch self-propelled mower as well.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's good because
but
it keeps everything out. Well, we get that much rain in the winter here. You got
yeah,
to have your gear out of the rain.
that's right.
Poor old walker cops it out on the trailer, but doesn't seem to bother
Yeah,
it.
that's it. As long as those nipples have been greased, then they're good.
Doesn't seem to bother it at all, eh?
Yeah, no, not at all. Okay, so you keep a lot of gear in the van, and then you got the trailer for the walker. Have you gone to battery gear for anything?
Yeah, oh, yeah. No,
Yep.
heavily into the still battery gear now.
Okay. Yep. Still, it seems a lot of guys in New Zealand are into still.
Yeah, it's got a good name here. It's good
Oh,
gear.
it's got a good name in Australia too, but you've just got a lot of variation here between people who run Still or Ego or Husqvarna or Bushranger or whatever
The
else.
other franchisee I know down in Hamilton, he got into still gear, the AP series stuff, and he was just like, dude, get into this. And then
Yeah.
I got another mate that's an arborist, and he just said, "Why have you still got petrol gear?" And I went down to this mate's place. He lives just south of me, and had a good look at all his gear, his AP series still gear, and it was
Yeah.
just went straight out and bought. Yeah, got onto it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Greenacres have got some sort of alliance deal with Still New Zealand,
Oh
so
yeah. Nice.
we were getting 15% off all their Still gear, and then
That's
Still
good.
Still went and had a battery special. I can't remember what they did, but it might have been if you buy a skin and a battery, you got another battery or something like that.
Okay.
It was a
Yeah.
pretty good deal. So yeah, I set myself up with yeah, got the KMA 120, KMA 135, the
Yeah.
BG 86. Had to go with the BG. I think it's the 250, the new blower.
Yeah.
They're really
They
good.
go well.
Yeah, I was gutted. I was like, oh, dude, I've just bought the 86. 250 is just like three times better.
So
Just
the
so
86 does what you need, but the 250 is hands down going to do a
it's
better job.
just so ergonomic to hold. It's just
Yeah.
and they've got the controls right. You got a speed selector and all this sort of stuff, and
Yeah, that's one of the
yeah,
things I've liked about Still because I've had a number of Still products. I've never had a Still battery lineup, but the Still products are usually really well ergonomically designed.
Yeah. The main three mower shops I go to are Husky dealers, though.
Yeah.
So I'm like starting to look at them, going, "That is it the 525?
Yeah. I
Is
just
there
bought a 525.
is battery weed eater or whippersnipper? Is that the
Yeah, that's
one?
yeah. So there's
Yeah,
two. I've got the
they seem
525.
really nice.
I got that 525 and the 520. So the 520 is the lighter weight one, but it's still commercial. And it'll run in reverse or forwards, whereas the 525 is more conventionally like a petrol machine.
Oh man, what do you need it to go backwards for?
You don't, but it's fun. No, I thought about it, right? If you can change direction, then when you're whip snipping into a corner, you
That
can
could
whip
be
snip
quite handy, eh?
either direction. So if you can't get the grass, you just turn it back. So
That
if you're going around a
good,
fence post,
good for
easy.
that kikuya, hey?
Yeah, that's right.
It grows up behind drain pipes and stuff. Yeah.
That makes those jobs so much easier. Drain pipes, fence posts, corners, all those sorts of things. But
Oh, I have to
it's
get
got less
one of them.
power. It's
Nah.
the 525 definitely has more power, but the 520 that has the reverse on it, you get up to 2.5 hour runtime out of the BLI 300 battery.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's great. And I'm guessing with the still, you're probably getting anywhere from 15 minutes to 40 minutes runtime.
Yeah, about half an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that seems pretty standard. If you work it
Yeah.
hard, you hit something overgrown, it'll drop pretty quickly down to 10, 15 minutes.
I just love them because the customers love them. They
They are good.
like because I'm working because I work till like 6 o'clock or so, and people are coming home. If I have to do a bit of weed eating around the house, and
Yeah,
they come home, they don't want a screaming weed eater outside their window. You
that's
know,
right. Yeah,
that's not a good experience for them. Whereas an electric one, it's like happy to
yeah,
clean up with the blower around their house. It's not too loud.
yeah. It's much better than having the backpack blower that's really noisy.
I've got one of them. I got the BGA 800 Magnum, the big sucker,
How
the one
noisy
the
is it?
one that'll just a bit. Oh, I've never tried it without earmuffs, but
Yeah,
it's got a bit of it's
I,
got a good bit of grunt, hey.
I've got the BG, not BG, whatever it is, BR 600.
Yeah, BR, that's the one. Oh, that's two sizes smaller.
So the BR
Yeah.
600 is the old petrol one, and um, when I have my employee running that BR 600, I can be half a kilometre away, and it's still noisy. It's so loud.
Oh, stuff with it.
Yeah. So
And the
that
BR 800 is again that guy in Hamilton, that other Greenacres guy. He told me, dude, you got to get one of these. So I did. And I
yeah.
was like, what have I bought? This thing, like, it takes up so much room in the van. I was a
Well,
bit,
it's only useful when
yeah.
you've got to do that 500-metre long driveway, right? And that saves be a time
Yeah, I
saver
do
for
a
that.
lot of that, but then, because I'm not catching anything,
Yeah.
you mow the front lawn around the house first thing, go and do all your other work, and then
Yeah.
come back and hit that thing with the BR 800 before you leave. And
Yeah.
it's just paddocks over the fence, all the grass just gone.
It's a time
The,
saver
the, the,
because if you're trying to do that with your battery blower, you'll go through 10 batteries.
oh, you can't do it. No,
Yeah.
it's only really that sort of grunt of a blower that can do it.
Yeah.
The
That's
only
it.
negative I found is mowing a lawn in town once when I first had it,
Mm.
and I thought, oh, I'll just tidy up some clumps of grass that were on the lawn. It was in
Yeah.
the winter when the grass was a bit clumpy, and I
Yep.
and I and I, I let these clumps of grass have it with this BR 800, and one of the clumps went straight up in the air, straight through the kitchen window into the kitchen.
Oh, no.
Oh, the people, I didn't say a word, but they must have come home and looked at it and gone, how did that get in here? The people
Yeah.
are they're really easygoing people. They would have, it was pretty
Mm.
obvious how it had got in there, but I was like, oops,
Yeah. No fly screen on that window.
nah, nah, nah. Oh, you got to have a laugh, eh?
Yeah. They would have come home and gone, what? Oh.
Yeah, they would have been scratching their head working out how I managed to get a big clump of grass the size of a tennis ball through their kitchen window.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Aussie Lawn Stars. Please remember to rate and review the show on the Apple Podcasts app or the player you use. Exciting new shows are released every Monday. Make sure you follow or subscribe to hear the next episode.